Hello and welcome to the Crumbs and Doilies shop in Soho. Now, if you've ever been to the shop, you'll know that we are very well known for our tray bakes. Not just our cupcakes and cakes, but the tray bakes as well. They fly off the counter, and I've given you quite a lot of my recipes so far, but I thought I'd give you another one, and it's one of my favorites. This time it is this beauty, the cookie cheesecake. So let's go make it. Now this cheesecake is made up of 3 elements. We've got the buttery biscuit base, which is an absolute must in all cheesecake. Then we've got the cheesecake, but this one is going to be a baked cheesecake. And then the top, which is the pièce de résistance, is a layer of baked cookie. And we're going to bake those layers at the same time, and it gives it a really great sort of crunch and a nice, smooth, fluffy cheesecake filling, and then the buttery biscuit base is really yummy. So I'm going to start by making my buttery biscuit base, and for this I'm using whizzed up Hob Nobs. Now if you don't know what a Hob is, because maybe you're not from these parts, they're a really traditional British biscuit. They're really available in supermarkets. They're similar to digestive biscuits, but they're a bit more kind of oaty and honey flavoured and a bit better in this particular recipe. If you can't find them, digestives will work just fine, or graham crackers, or something similar to all the things I just said. So I've got 300 grams of whizzed up Hob Nobs. I'm going to add 90 grams of melted butter, and then I've also got 1 tablespoon of another classic British thing, which is golden syrup. Again, if you can't find golden syrup, you could use corn syrup, even honey at a push, but really find a syrup that is the stickiest, gloopiest syrup of all time. It just helps it bind everything. And then you want to give that a really good mix until it resembles a kind of damp sand consistency. So when you feel like it's thoroughly mixed evenly and it is nice and kind of damp, you can then dump it into your tin. Now I'm using a 10-inch tin here. I've greased and lined it with greaseproof paper. So I'm going to dump it all in and press it down tight. And once you've got a nice firm base, you need to bake this. Now, if you've made my buttery biscuit based cupcakes before, you know that I don't pre-bake the buttery biscuit base, but because this is such a big unit, the baking of it just helps to bind it and makes it a little bit more stable when it comes out of the oven at the very end. So I'm going to bake this at 170 degrees C for 10 minutes. While your buttery biscuit base is baking, you can get on with making the top bit, because it's better to make this earlier because we need to chill it a little bit before we use it. So I've got my mixer here, and into that I'm going to put 100 grams of soft unsalted butter, 150 grams of light soft brown sugar, and 75 grams of caster sugar. And then just like with most cookie doughs, you want to beat that together for a little bit, not loads, you just want to bring it together. And then once that's come together, you can then add 1 large egg and an egg yolk, along with half a teaspoon of good quality vanilla extract, and then beat that until it's really well combined as well. And then add 190 grams of plain flour plus a pinch of salt, and then just fold that together slowly. And then when that's almost come together, you can add 190 grams of chocolate chips. Use nice dark chocolate chips as well to get the most flavour. And that is it. That is the cookie part done, but we do need to chill it in the right shape. And because it's going to be going directly on top of the cheesecake, it really needs to be exactly the same size. So I've got another 10-inch tin here, which I've also greased and lined. And I'm going to simply pop it in and smush it down and get a nice layer. So once it's nice and even, you then need to refrigerate this for at least 30 minutes. So pop it into the fridge and wait. Right, when your 30 minutes of chilling is nearly up, you can then start to make your cream cheese filling, because that'll take about 8 to 10 minutes, so not that long. So I've already got in my bowl 575 grams of cream cheese. I'm going to add 115 grams of caster sugar, 2 large free-range eggs, and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that just needs to be beat together for around 8 minutes until it's really thickened up. Right, that is looking much thicker. What you don't want for it to be is runny, so make sure you leave it on. If it hasn't got past runny stage, just leave it on for a bit longer to beat it up till it's nice and thick. And then pour that over your baked buttery biscuit base. And once you have a nice, even as possible layer, Then it's time to transfer the cookie dough onto the cheesecake. So I've already taken mine out of the tin, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up using the paper that it's in, flip it over and then peel it off. That's the easiest way to do it. All right, that is my cookie layer on top, but now you just need to let this sit for about 10 minutes at room temperature. The reason is cream cheese layer is room temperature, the cookie layer is quite cold still. So that needs to come a little bit warmer so that it doesn't underbake when you bake it. So leave it for 10 minutes. My 10 minutes is up, so this is now going into the oven at 170 degrees C, and you want to bake it for between 30 to 35 minutes. If it's still a little bit wobbly in the middle, that's okay, but you want to have nice golden brown edges. That looks so good, but it's going to get even better later, but it does need to chill. So make sure you chill this to room temperature and then put it in the fridge for at least an hour so that it's nice and firm. And we're back, and my cheesecake is chilled out, and it looks good, but it's a little bit beige, isn't it? So let's jazz it up. I've got some melted dark chocolate here, and also some little colourful mini Smarties, which I'm just going to scatter all over the shop. Well, that looks suitably jazzy and fun. I think you'll agree. I'm going to cut this up now and put it downstairs in the shop. And if you're in the area near the shop this weekend, then we're going to have this on the menu all weekend. So if you're not in the mood for baking, you can just come along and grab a slice that we've made. Don't forget, you can also get my wonderful merch in store. But if you can't get to the shop, don't worry, you can buy it from my website, CupcakeJemma.com. So check that out as well. I'll be back next week, so I'll see you then.